Alright, it's about 7:30. Hello and welcome to the weather update. I'm just showing you some pictures here, 7:30 October 10th, 2019. And some of the pictures, that's looking east. You can see the clouds, the bank where the rain is falling to the west, just brilliant colors from the sunset. So this was all taken around 6:30. So again, looking to the east, you can see that cloud bank and the rain that is associated with it. So let's talk about this complicated weather situation. Okay, so let's take a look at the current conditions outside right now, and you will see here that we have a lot of wind in some areas and not so much in others. Offshore in particular, we have some 42-mile-an-hour gusts, 40-mile-an-hour gusts. Looks like a 28-mile-an-hour gust at Montauk, 54, 57. We're around 60 in Nassau County, and still even warmer than that in New Jersey. Dew points are a little higher in New Jersey again too, because that northeast flow is traveling over the water, so it's picking up moisture. And we have also these flash flood advisories and warnings around. And this storm is causing some issues for parts of our area on the South Shore already. But first, I want to show you this radar. Look at this heavy rain that's now over Suffolk. We got reds here, so they're getting absolutely soaked there in Suffolk County, eastern part of Suffolk County, in the Pine Barrens, of course. Lots and lots of, it looks like, heavy rainfall going on over there right now. We're not seeing that here, though. As you can see, we had a couple of sprinkles, and that was it. Looks like some more rain is trying to make its way in, but it seems like it's hitting a dry area where it just can't make it past this dry area. We'll see what happens through the night if that rain does get here. All there was a couple of sprinkles when I was out, and that was it. So we'll take a look at the current observations. So we have coastal flood advisory, storm warnings offshore, coastal flood warnings, gale warnings because of this storm offshore. So I'll show you the different worlds that our area has been in today. Now if we go to West Hampton, where it's obviously pouring, let's see what's going on over there. It's 50 degrees, north winds at 18, gusting 25, and rain. And let's see how much rain they've already gotten. All right, not much. The rain has just started, I guess, for them, but it will start adding up for them. Let's see Shirley. Surprised. I'm sure that number will go up again. 52, and they've only gotten a little rain, but the rain has just started. So the heavier rain has started. Maybe a lot of that heavier stuff isn't reaching the ground quite yet, as the column hasn't completely saturated yet. But it will, and it will pour out there. But for us, if we go and look at us, you see it's just been cloudy, 57, mostly cloudy, northeast wind at 21, gusting to 31. Very low dew point, 38 degrees at Farmingdale. And you can see it was a partly sunny day today across Nassau County. It wasn't mostly sunny. There was clouds around, but there was some sunny periods for sure that, depending on where you were, you could have had a decent day. Made it up to 66 degrees. And if we go further west and we look at New York City, you will see that it's even warmer in the city, 66 degrees, northeast wind at 14, gusting to 26, dew point also very low at 36 degrees, so that's why the rain is having trouble making it far west, because we have very dry air. So clouds around, and then, like I said, some breaks in the city as well. Looks like it made it up to 70 in the city, but if we go even further west than that and go into New Jersey, we can look at, no, not interested in that. We'll go into New Jersey here and get an observation for there. And 65, dew point is 37 at Belmar Farmingdale. So dew point is still fairly low. Northeast wind at 18, gusting to 25. If anything, the dew points dropped there. It was in the mid-40s. And they had, again, some clouds, some sun, a mix. I mean, it probably wasn't, it looked like it was clearer on the satellite than it actually was, I guess, over there, because they had some mostly cloudy skies for a good part of the day. But I think we had to go a little further south than that. If we go more toward Tom's River, you will see that it's overcast there, 63. Look at the dew point, though. It's a lot higher at 48 degrees. Northeast wind at 14, gusting to 20. And we got up to 71 at Tom's River today. But you can see they had longer periods of clear skies. They had a couple hours of some clear skies there. So it was nice. It got up to 70 degrees. Granted, a little warmer, a little more moisture in the air, a little higher humidity, but a sunny day over there. A nice day that they had that I was not expecting. So if you did live in that area, you could have had a nice day and maybe got into the Pine Barrens. However, we have the weather changing right now, so I want to go look at the underground site so we can look at the weather map and see how these observations are doing. So we look at the temperatures and stuff. You can see where the cooler temperatures are over where it's raining, over the Suffolk County, only around 50, obviously warmer to the west where it's not raining. If we look at the dew points, this is really what I want to see, because sometimes, yeah, dew points are higher along here, on the Jersey Shore and Ocean County. Dew points are a good, almost 10 degrees higher, and again, it's because it's picking up moisture over that water as it's crossing the water, whereas dew points are lower in Nassau County and then higher again where it's raining. However, look at precipitation amounts. Let's look at that. You'll see barely anything except for parts of Suffolk County where we see already over a quarter of an inch being reported. Montauk already has over a half an inch being reported. So this is a look at the satellite imagery here, and you will see that we have this storm that's just sitting here. It looks like it's trying to move away now. Still looks like it's trying to move away, but you can see what's going on here. You have all these clouds that are trying to make their way to the west. Again, east to west. Weather's not supposed to move that way, but moving from east to west, and then off to the west, it's clear. So it's clear off to the west, and the clouds are trying to move in now to Nassau County and the Jersey Shore. But again, if you go west of there, it's still clear. And even upstate, Albany, most of New York State had a clear, sunny day today. And that is also backed up by the MODIS. So we'll look at that next. And you'll see that it will also be backed up by the MODIS as well. So here's the MODIS, and here's what the satellite looked like today. So as you can see here, over Long Island, Suffolk County, more or less in the clouds. But see, there was a break over parts of Nassau County, a couple of breaks, and then some more patchy clouds. But then over New Jersey, you could see that there was some sunshine, and we're going to the afternoon. For a later image, you could see, again, clouds over Long Island, but even New York City, New Jersey, clear. Not a cloud in the sky almost for a little while, except maybe a few patchy clouds there. And that one we don't have in yet, but you get the idea. Over the east, you're stuck in the clouds to the west. And this often happens with coastal storms, and they get wound up and get kind of in this spot where they kind of just, there's a dry line, and it kind of protects areas to the west. That's a benefit New Jersey has versus Suffolk County. That's why often when you get the nor'easters and the coastal storms, the snow really piles up a lot more in Suffolk and not so much in New Jersey. That's a benefit for New Jersey, of course. Let's look at some of the marine observations. Let's go ahead and look at that. Actually, I already had that. I opened that up. Where is it? It's right here. So let's look at some of these marine observations here and see some of these wind speeds. 31 knots, 35 knots, 45 knots. At Breezy Point, northeast wind at 29, gusting to 40. Jones Beach, northeast wind gusting to 39. Amityville, northeast wind to 12, gusting to 13. So some gusts going up near 40. Here's one at Shinnecock Inlet, a gust to 41. So we've had some strong winds out there, and it's been stirring up the ocean. So actually, I want to go to the Twitter here for the National Weather Service, and this is a look at what the ocean is. Let's see, make this a little larger so you can see this. This is what the ocean looks like. Let's see if I can get this. This is West Hampton Beach. You can see, look at that. That's rough. So there's some flooding occurring on the South Shore, and some flooding and moderate beach erosion going on, and they're very concerned about this. If you live along the coast, any of the barrier islands, and if we look again at this, you'll see minor to moderate coastal flooding, inundation of 1 to 2 feet, possibly 2 to 3 feet across the back bays of southern Nassau and southwestern Suffolk. And News 12 actually was doing a good job talking about this today, because they showed some of the flooding down on the South Shore, which is already occurring. 25 to 35 miles an hour with winds gusting to 50. So this isn't even a hurricane, and it's already causing a lot of problems, which is why we shouldn't be putting all our eggs in one basket and pouring money and investing in the South Shore and neglecting the middle of the island. That's the opposite of what you should be doing. But anyway, let's go look at the models and see what's going to be happening here in the latest 18Z runs. I know we did a weather update in the afternoon, but I felt like we need to do another one because this is an ever evolving situation here with this storm. So here is the 18Z GFS, and you can see what it does. It kind of moves it back at us a little bit tomorrow morning, a little bit. But you can see now it looks like it's trying to keep most of the rain away. So tomorrow may wind up being dry across Long Island, according to the GFS. And then this thing pulls away for Saturday, and it pulls on out of here. And again, the worst of the wind does stay offshore, but this is causing the seas we're going to look at the seas actually. We're going to go to windy.com at the end of this video and look at the seas, because again, the storm center can be farther away. It's still going to kick up the seas, and that's exactly what it's doing. So according to this, as far as the total accumulated precipitation goes, it's not giving that much. I think that Suffolk's going to see could see another inch. But I think the cutoff is going to be sharp. As you see, the cutoff is very sharp, and it doesn't make it that far west. All right? Just for fun, we'll look at the clouds simulation here and see what happens as well. So again, keeps us in the clouds, but again, it is clear off to the west. So we'll have to, again, watch that. And then that moves away, and then we hopefully can get some clear skies in here on Monday. If we do, I don't know. But right now, it all depends on this low, and until this low moves away, the models really aren't going to know exactly what's going to happen after that. So I've got to focus on this low, and I really don't want to go beyond that. I'll look at the NAM as well in regards to that cutoff situation, and we'll see. Then, yeah, see how it just has the cloud. Literally, it just has the clouds. It has this thing just sitting here, really. But I'm curious to see about the rain. So let's see what happens with the rain. This is the higher resolution NAM. So let's see if it moves any more rain in, and it really doesn't. It just kind of has it sitting there. Maybe a couple of showers here and there, but the worst of it stays offshore. But look at how wound up that thing is. It goes down to 977, 978. That's pretty wound up right there. That's very wound up. So I'm actually curious to see the winds on this, because that's pretty wound up now. Look at how tight. It looks like it's getting like a little eye there. Look at that. That's really interesting. Of course, this is the NAM. But notice how the wind field shrinks and then it tightens up. It's almost like trying to get some tropical characteristics there. So this is going to be some kind of weird. The storm is very, very weird. Very weird. Everything about it is weird. This is not your typical nor'easter for sure. So that's the NAM. Let's see what other models you can look at. I'm not even going to look at the temperatures because we know that I went over that in the last one. Let's look at the HRRR here. This is a short-term model here. I'll go back. I don't think we have all of that in yet. This is the HRRR here, and you can see it. The good news is it keeps the worst of the winds offshore. Let's see about the precipitation here. This is the wild card. So this is the wild card here, and again, it seems like the models are just trending. You can see how it's moving it back at us and then deepening it. This seems to be a trend all the models seem to agree on, that it's stalling and then it's going to retrograde a little bit and then move out. Let's look at the ICON model. Let's see if it does the same thing. Actually, I think the ICON might be the most accurate because it has that. It's representing that slug of rain very well, and then it just keeps the rain away for the most part from the western part of Long Island, and then it moves it away. So, yeah, we're gonna have to see what happens with this. Let's see the total accumulated precip on this. Yeah, you can see it. The east end, eastern part of Suffolk, could still see an inch or two of rain. But the cutoff is very sharp, and then Nassau will hardly see anything. New Jersey, nothing. So, very interesting setup. Very interesting setup. Very unusual type of storm for sure. Let me go to windy.com and see if we can look at the other model, the Euro model here, which again is this model right here, and this will also show the wave heights. So I want to look at this actual wave heights. And you will see here the waves that are, let's see, we got 11 footers off the south shore. But then if we go out into the open ocean, we're dealing with 25 footers, 30 footers. So this is really kicking up the waves here. It's really kicking up the waves. Let's look at the wind. I'll go back to the wind now. Alright, so you can see it's mainly just the east end that's involved in the higher winds. We're just dealing with breezy conditions. Look at that, though. It's 49 over there. 49 gusts. So again, it just has an eye. It's kind of, like I said, it has some tropical characteristics to it. Tomorrow, 11 a.m., similar setup. The worst of the wind is over the east end. Let's look at these waves, too, and these wind gusts. Well, look at the waves. So as we go into tomorrow, 11 a.m., I think it's going to get worse. 13 foot now off the south shore. Oh boy. Let's see. When do these waves die down? Alright, 7 p.m. we're still dealing with high surf. Probably doesn't go away until Saturday. Yep. So we're still going to be dealing with it all day through tomorrow with the high surf. I'm going to go back to the wind and go to wind gusts, and we're going to look at the gusts now. Tonight, 9 p.m. You can see the worst of the gusts are offshore. Right at the beaches and the east end. Looks like Montauk could see some 50 mile an hour gusts. Central Suffolk, probably more like 40. We're fortunate in the worst stays just offshore, because if you go offshore, you're dealing with some really strong wind gusts. And the Cape, because it sticks out, it's going to be dealing with, in Nantucket, they're going to be dealing with some wind gusts close to 60 miles an hour. And then if you go and you look closer to the center, look at this. You have some 70 mile an hour. That's hurricane force wind gusts. As we go into 10 a.m., see, it just doesn't move very much. Look at that, 73 mile an hour gusts. Off there. Luckily, that is, we're very lucky that this thing isn't getting any closer. Hopefully it doesn't. I want to see this thing go away and move east. I wish we weren't dealing with it. We could have, if this thing wasn't here, we'd have beautiful weather. You can see the east end gets into it, though, a little bit. Look at that, 50 mile an hour gust still tomorrow night. We're not out of the wind until we get into Saturday, and then we start finally getting out of this wind. Lastly, we'll see what the clouds are on this. So this really modeled it very well for today. But unfortunately, like I said, the clouds kind of move. Well, this model here seems to think that maybe the clouds won't get into New Jersey. Wouldn't that be nice? So we'll have to see what happens. We'll have to see what happens. There's a chance that we could have another sunny day west of the city, perhaps in New Jersey, and it moves the clouds back at us. So it kind of all depends on this storm here, on what happens with this storm. But I'll tell you, this is a very unusual system. Very unusual system here. So we'll move this to the rain simulation. You can see the circulation here. You know what I want to do? I want to look at NAM, and I want to look at the wind here for a minute, because the NAM was doing something with the wind that I want to look at here. Yeah, look at this. This is tomorrow at 11. Look at that. It looks like it's forming a tiny eye right there. A tiny eye. So very interesting. Look at that tiny eye right there. Very interesting type of situation there that we're seeing here. Really some kind of weird hybrid system for sure. You can see, though, if you're on the South Fork out in Montauk, you're going to get the worst of this for sure. You're going to get the worst of it. You're going to get the worst of it. But this is an impressive thing. I'll just lastly look at the National Hurricane Center here and see if this thing they've given it anything yet. They just say 20% chance of tropical cyclone formation. All right, well, I'll keep you posted on this unnamed hybrid nor'easter tropical storm that is sitting offshore, and the unusual weather conditions, the very variable weather conditions depending on where you are, whether you're out in Suffolk and you're dealing with rain and wind, or if you're in New Jersey and dealing with partly cloudy conditions. Anyway, that does wrap up this weather update. I want to thank you for watching, and I'll keep you posted on the storm. Have a good night.